A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you're loading good. Today is 22nd October 2020. Day is Thursday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Steve Prefontaine. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. All of us are loaded with potential, right? We have some sort of gift. We are like, Ferrari. Every one of us, we have this capacity that we can be as good in the thing that we are doing, but the only thing is that many of us, we don't give our best. We leave it for a perfect situation. Don't stick with or don't wait for that perfect situation, right? Deliver whatever you can, right? Give your best today if you want to see that perfect situation. So never ever compromise with quality. With this, dear friends, Navratri sale is going on all our smart courses. This is going to last till 26th October only. You'll get extra 5% discount on all our smart courses. Make the most out of it. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. Don't forget to share this lecture with other students. And if you have not, then I do request you guys to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And if you have done it, then please do inform 3 more students about StudyIQ education. On our table, we have 5 important articles. 2 are from Times of India and 3 are from the Hindu newspaper. And then we have some news items as well. So let's start our discussion with this one. This article is Potholes on the Digital Payment Superhighway, written by R.B. Burman. He is former Executive Director of Reserve Bank of India. And this article is important because digital payment is something that all of us are using. We are familiar with digital payment of system. This article is talking about a little bit history of how it all started and what are the things that we need to do. And then I'm going to add some more things, of course. So digital payments have found strong ground, especially in India. Yes, the first line is correct. All of us are using it. POS machines, QR code, scanning QR code using Paytm, PhonePe, and there are so many other, Beam, and these days your bank mobile application also allows you to scan QR codes, and you can directly make small and big payments. So life is much easier these days, isn't it? And COVID-19 created a big disruption in our normal life, but every bad thing, every negative thing, every challenge, it brings with it an opportunity as well, isn't it? And that's what happened with COVID-19. So many people, and this is something that I have personally observed as well, and I'm sure if you have observed, then you will agree with me that so many small shops, they were just accepting cash before COVID-19. Digital payment system was available, but they were not that much inclined towards it, and most of them used to say that we have been using cash for the time we started doing this business, and we would like to keep it that way. But after COVID-19, there's reports coming out that your currency notes can get, they can be a carrier as well. So many of them are now, or in fact, many people, many businesses, small businesses are now using a digital mode of payment, right? They are allowing you will find this big QR codes. You can scan them and make your payments, medical stores and kirana shops and so many other places. So yes, expansion of digital payment has widened, of course, in our country, and thanks to RBI, thanks to banks, thanks to fintech companies who have made this thing possible. There is a long and interesting history behind the evolution of digital payments in India, piloted by the Reserve Bank of India. Back in March 2004, Reserve Bank of India launched this RTGS. RTGS, that is a real-time gross settlement system. It is very important, or a platform that is particularly for large payments, big payments. If you want to make big payments, then RTGS is the thing. If you want to make payments from your debit cards, credit cards, small retail payments, then NEFT, that is National Electronic Funds Transfer, is the best thing. It was introduced at the same time. NEFT at present is available 24/7, And in near future, precisely in December 2020, RTGS is also going to be 24/7, 365 days. Such historical changes brought about by the RBI triggered major changes in the corporate and capital market transactions as well. A few months ago, we talked about this thing in Daily Financial News Analysis that SEBI has launched T+1 settlement. So let me throw some more light on T+1. In layman's language, earlier on how it used to work is that if you purchase a share or shares, right, then you can make payment. I'm talking about I think 20 years ago. I'm not too much into share market. I have very basic knowledge about share market, but I'm sure how it used to work a few decades ago. If you buy a share, then you can make payment within 30 days, right? So just imagine that a company has allotted you a share, you have purchased that share, but the money will go to company after 30 days. So overall transaction speed is very slow here. Then it was reduced to some 10 days or something, then 5 days, or there was 1 week, T+6 or T+7, something like that used to run till now. But now SEBI is going to have this T+1. So within that particular date, if you buy a share today, then you have to sort out the payment today itself. So more money will supply, means more money supply in the market. The companies will get the money on the same day, so they can use that money as quickly as possible. And because of this T+1, because of this RTGS and digital payment system, India is going to attract more international capital. So that is going to be beneficial for our financial market as well as our companies and overall economy, of course. The sterling contribution of this robust payment system, especially the retail payments, was seeded and reinforced with the setting up of National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI) by 10 lead banks at the instance of the RBI in 2009. Now it all started with this learning tour to Sweden. A team from our country, from RBI, they visited, and a few bankers visited Sweden. And the building that you can see on your screen is the Central Bank of Sweden. So they visited the Central Bank of Sweden, and they learned so many things from Sweden. And then they visited this NGO, or you can say not-for-profit organization. The name is BGCAB. Right? So they visited this BGCAB, Bengiro Centralen. That's what the full form is of BGC. Bengiro Centralen, something like that, but the name is not important. So this BGCAB was set up by 8 Swedish bank, and this setup was this just like our NPCI before that, right? This NPCI idea came from this BCGAB. So 8 Swedish banks together, they formed this BGCAB, and it was a not-for-profit organization designed to deliver retail payments and some other financial services. So our team studied it, and then we found that yes, this is something that we can do in our country. And then this birth of this NPCI took place some 11 years ago. And since then till now, we have seen that things have expanded, particularly after this demonetization. To be honest, there are many people, they complain about demonetization. I'm not saying that demonetization was a perfect move. There are so many flaws with demonetization, no doubt. But if you see the good side of demonetization, then yes, it has increased digital payment in our country. And after this demonetization, things were more static. Right, there was a boost in usage, and then things were more static. But now, after this COVID-19, we have seen another thrust, another boost in digital payment. UPI, IBPS are well recognized by central banks in other countries as well. Can you believe this fact that back in 2019, the Bank of International Settlements endorsed the NPCI model, and this is a big achievement in itself that the Bank of International Settlements is talking about NPCI, saying that NPCI is a very successful model and other countries should learn from NPCI. So Here it looks like we have copied something, but it's not like that. We took idea from BGCAB and then we improved it, right? We refined it further, and today it has attracted attention of Bank of International Settlements as well. So it is a precious jewel of our country. Now, there are some people who are saying that what we need to do is we need to convert this NPCI from a non-profit organization to a for-profit organization. Now, the thing is, if we convert it into a for-profit organization, then at the end of the day, customers will have to pay more. So I'll give you a rough example. Let's say if you purchase an item worth 100 rupees. So if you give 100 rupees note, that's it. You have settled the transaction. Now, if you use your phone or digital mode of payment, then if the government or if the bank is charging you 2 rupees on this transaction, now 2 rupees is not a big thing, but if you see the amount of your transaction is 100 rupees, so we are paying 2%. So just imagine if you are purchasing item worth 2000 rupees, then you would be paying 20 rupees. And then it can go up. If you pay 1 lakh rupees via digital payment, then you would be paying 2% of that. That is 2000 rupees. Now, people would prefer to pay cash rather than digital payment. This will be the end result of turning NPCI or converting NPCI into a for-profit organization. So I think RBI and Government of India should support NPCI, whatever the cost and expenses are. If they are short in money, then RBI and government should inject some money, because this will, overall, the big picture is that it will help us, consumers and everyone, and it will help our economy. More wide transactions, more digital transactions are beneficial for every one of us. Of course, on the other side, we have to create robust security network. There are so many people that don't use it because they are afraid about this hacking and phishing and other things. In Budget 2021, the government prescribed a zero merchant discount rate. Again, this MDR is something that I just explained to you, right? The formal word is zero merchant discount rate or merchant discount rate. So government said that if you use RuPay, if you use UPI, then if you use this NPCI products, then there will be zero merchant discount rate. But this Visa as well as MasterCard, this were not provided any support, and this creates government is supporting NPCI products. That's a good thing, but we should not create a situation where other players other players face disadvantage. We cannot allow that, because competition is going to be better for NPCI products. If UPI and RuPay are competing with Visa, American Express, MasterCard and other financial or fintech companies, then that's going to be beneficial for the customer, isn't it? We are going to get more services at zero rate. So yes, basically what I'm trying to, this article is trying to say is that we need to support NPCI as well as other players, and we have to make sure that transactions are secure and free of cost. And this is beneficial for the bank as well. Imagine how much cost a bank has to do to make sure that ATMs are stocked with enough money. Transporting cash from one place to another is also very risky, and you need a big management, and so many people are involved in it. So cash is a bit expensive when you compare it with digital payment. So what we can do is we can have this triangle where you have on one side RBI, the other side you have banks, and here you can have Government of India. So if there are some sort of expenses, then yes, all three of them can contribute a little bit, and then they can cover these expenses so that we can create a less cash, or we can head towards a cashless economy. Moving on to next item, plug into Taiwan. This one is from Times of India. Now let's first locate where Taiwan is. So here on your screen you can see Taiwan. North side you find East China Sea. Here you have Taiwan Strait that separates China from Taiwan. South China Sea over here, Pacific Ocean from here, and you can see Tropic of Cancer is also passing from Taiwan, and Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. Now Reports are saying that India is going to have a new trade deal with Taiwan, and China is upset about it. Chinese Foreign Ministry has said India to be prudent while dealing with Taipei, and China has said that you need to respect one China principle. Now, it's very funny, isn't it, that a country that is not giving not giving a serious thought or scant regarding sovereignty of other nations, that country is trying to educate us on this principle of sovereignty and things like that. I'll give you one example, right? One reason why India is not part of this Belt and Road Initiative, or the other name is One Belt, One Road, right? China's Belt and Road Initiative, or One Belt, One Road policy. The reason why we are not part of it is because of the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, this CPEC passes from POK, that is Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. It passes from here. Now, India is not happy at all about this CPEC. The reason is that it is passing from our territory. At present, this POK is under the control of Pakistan, but it belongs to us. Hopefully not today, but maybe tomorrow, maybe in future, this part will be administered by us, as it belongs to us. So we told China that, see, your CPC, we don't have any problem with your BRI or OBOR, but the problem is that it is passing from our territory, and this is something that you should not do. At that point of time, China said that, okay, at present it is under control of Pakistan. So in future, if it is under your control, then we will negotiate with you. For now, we are going to carry on with it. And that's what they did. And now when we are trying to do business or have a trade deal with Taiwan, then it is trying to educate us. Of course, India is going to reject this thing. The big picture is that if you press our buttons, then we have also your loopholes. We know how to play this game, right? China started misbehaving with us. It is misbehaving with Bhutan. It is misbehaving with our country. You know what's going on at Ladakh border, and supporting Pakistan, and trying to woo Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and other countries. So we also have this capability. If we can work with Taiwan, we can work with Japan, we can work with USA, Australia, Japan, Quad. And so it's not like just China knows how to do things. We are also capable of creating enough pressure on China. That's what this is all about. And this is not just limited to that. See, Taiwan is a free and independent democracy, and it is indeed an Asian economic dynamo. Back in 2018, our bilateral trade was 7.2 billion, and we can, of course, cross 10 billion, 15 billion easily, because Taiwan is a powerhouse in semiconductors. When it comes to hardware, Taiwan is one of the best, and when it comes to software, we are one of the best. And Taiwanese companies are well integrated into global supply chain. They have high standards of production. They are good with logistics and things. So there are so many things that we can learn from Taiwan. Taiwanese companies have also invested heavily in China. Now they are looking to relocate. India is one option. Of course, Taiwan will explore. Taiwan has launched a new southbound policy. Just like India's Act East policy, they have this new southbound policy. And it's talking about 18 countries. Of course, India is part of this 18 nations. So as I told you, Taiwan's expertise in hardware and India's expertise is in software. So we are a perfect fit for each other. So here 1 + 1 is not 2 when you have two countries like India and Taiwan. If Taiwan can bring the best hardware on table, and if we can add best software on it, then 1 + 1 is going to be 3 rather than 2. This is synergy, right? When two good things, when they mix together, when they work together, then the result is better than normal addition. Taiwanese investments in technology can kickstart a tech manufacturing revolution in our country, India. It can create jobs and so many other things. So yes, I'm sure Taiwan-India deal is a win-win for both nations, and China's objections will be ignored by both nations. Moving on to next item, vaccine first. This one is from Times of India. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about, a few days ago, he delivered his message about being a bit careful when it comes to this festival season. We are going to talk about it in detail. Now, the government has said that the government's plan is to leverage the National Digital Health Mission to ensure a robust vaccine delivery system, raises some concerns. A few weeks ago, when we were talking about this delivery system, we talked about this thing that this is the time that we need to plan properly so that when we have a vaccine, it should be delivered to the 20% population of our country, particularly corona warriors and those vulnerable people. So government is working on this thing. That's a good thing. But using National Digital Health Mission is a matter of concern. The reason is that, the good thing about NDHM is that it is a central repository for citizens' medical history. So you have this database of people in it. So that's a good thing. But it was launched just few months ago on 15th August 2020 on a pilot basis in 6 union territories. So it has not proved its robustness yet. It is very risky to use this platform. And if we talk about 20% of Indian population, then we are talking about 30 crore people. So, we cannot risk vaccine delivery. If something goes wrong with this NDHM's IT network, then we cannot risk this delivery. It can create a big disaster for our nation. NDHM can without doubt be useful in public health care because doctors can have access to patients' medical history. We can avoid needless repeat tests and procedures and generate digitized health data for research purpose. These are some benefits of this NDHM. But when it comes to vaccine delivery, I think we are a nation that is having good experience with polio drops, polio vaccination. We have this Indradhanush program. So universal immunization program, generally speaking, in our country, they have been robust. They have been, they have proved their caliber and they are successful. So we have good experience in vaccine management, in stocking vaccines and distributing it. We have robust cold chain storage system here as well. We have personnel who have work experience in this field. So rather than relying on just NDHM, if we can use it, that's fine. But I think we need to design, or we can use this universal immunization program, right? We need to make sure that this design is simple, supple and flexible, because we want to get rid of this COVID-19. And that's what this article is all about. Prime Minister Modi has appealed to all of us that the fight is not over yet, and annual festival season is on, and people are going to be a bit more energetic. This happens with every festival season. So we should not take it lightly. COVID-19 is still a big threat. Numbers have dropped, but that does not mean that it cannot rise again. We have seen countries in Europe, second wave and third wave. And Kerala has experienced a wave blamed on lax behavior during Onam. Kerala was a role model state of our country, but Onam festival, people were, they took it lightly, and many of them are suffering, unfortunately. There are many states, they want to kickstart economic activities as quickly as possible, and what they are doing is they are not presenting the right picture. Right? What they are doing is they are presenting the recovery, but they are not telling the people that the risk is still there. So we need to learn from Kerala. We need to learn from other states. There are big centers where numbers are going up. Right? Overall, the numbers are dropping, but there are few pockets where numbers are going up. And the death toll is 7. It was on 21st October. The official death toll was 717 and roughly 7.4 million active cases in our country. So, yes, at present, the need of the hour is communication. Create awareness in people that it is not over. We cannot go out without masks, right? We need to maintain social distancing. We need to make sure hygiene standards are up to the mark. And we have to learn. We have to adapt ourselves with COVID-19. until we find a cure or vaccine for it. Last topic of the day, it's about USA and West Asia. Particularly, it's more about Mr. Trump and West Asia. And when it comes to foreign policy, then Mr. Trump's administration, we cannot say it is a very successful one. I think it is a failure, to be honest, because recently this Abraham Accords was signed between UAE, Bahrain and Israel. And Mr. Trump hailed it as a new dawn in the Middle East. Of course, he will try to project it as big as possible, because if we see other deals, then his administration has failed. For example, USA-Taliban deal. It is beneficial for USA, beneficial for Taliban. But this deal is very dangerous for the people of Afghanistan and the government of Afghanistan. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un. Mr. Trump met Kim Jong-un twice. And, the first meeting was first step. It was something new for the whole world, new for the USA as well, because this was the very first time an active president of USA was meeting a leader of North Korea. So this meeting took place in Singapore, and I think the second meeting took place in Hanoi, that is the capital of Vietnam. If I'm not wrong, it took place over there. Can't remember exactly, but I think yes, Hanoi. But anyway, so the second meeting was a big failure, and after that, things have not moved forward. Trump administration opt for this maximum pressure policy on Iran, but Iran backfired. This deal with this Abraham Accords is good for UAE, Israel, Bahrain and other Arabic countries, but it is not at all good for this Palestinian people, because their problem is not solved yet. You see, trade war with China is going on for more than a year now, but this has not stopped China from misbehaving. Tensions are skyrocketing. It was evident during Barack Obama years that the US had overstretched itself in West Asia and North Africa, a region America has deeply engaged with since President Dwight D. Eisenhower's time. So Barack Obama tried to repair the damage. He had this deal with Iran. He was the main leader to start this whole discussion with Iran. It's officially known as JCPOA. Can you give me the full form of JCPOA? This is a question for you. Let me throw some more light on JCPOA. So it's famously known as Iran Nuclear Deal and P5+1 and Iran. The deal took place between P5 members, permanent 5 members of UNSC, and Germany. This one is Germany and Iran, under the flag of United Nations. So it was a global deal. It was a deal by UN. It was not a USA deal. But Trump administration pulled out of this deal. And since then we see that Iran has become more aggressive. In Syria, USA was checkmated by Russia. Its intervention in Libya turned out to be a disaster. Israel was uncontrollable. Arabic allies were upset with USA's behavior. And we see these days that Iran has started aggressive policy towards USA. It targeted Saudi oil facilities. It blocked cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and it has also launched many attacks on American troops in Iraq. The troops in USA is going to pull out troops from Iraq, and American embassy in Baghdad was also shut down because of this pressure. USA killed this Soleimani. He was a main man of Iran. But then Iran backfired with Shia rebels in Iraq and creating pressure and attacks on USA as well. So problems are not solved yet. He's trying to project that things are solved, but we see in many parts of the world things are not solved, particularly in West Asia. And now we find new teams, like Turkey is teaming up with Iran, and they are going to create their own front. They are going to be, these two countries, Turkey and Iran, they are going to be too much for Saudi Arabia, UAE and other nations. And the USA is fading away from here. USA is not ready to, earlier on USA used to send its soldiers and things, but now USA is under Trump administration does not want to do that. So things are a bit dirty here in West Asia. So overall, judging by the things that we have discussed, we can say that this looks good, Abraham Accords, but the reality is that Trump administration, when it comes to foreign policy, it has not delivered so far. And these are some news items for you guys, right? Please go through this one, a very important one, COVIRAP, COVIRAP. It's a machine, right? And there are some benefits here. So make sure you are familiar with this COVIRAP. And these are a few more news items. You'll find this news in the Hindu newspaper. Help yourself with it, and I will see you with daily financial news analysis. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Jai Hind.